Folks, welcome back to NASCAR Heat 5. Today we are going out to Atlanta Motor Speedway. Just got done with our trip out west. Time to head out east and run in this game at least, one of my favorite tracks. It's really bad on the tires. It's a hard track, but we've placed quite well here. We're in 6th place in the standings in Xfinity currently. And so let's go ahead and get out here and try to improve on that with a win here at Atlanta. Well, we were able to achieve our practice goal, so that's nice by a 10th exactly. So it's time to move on and put together our qualifying effort. All right, here we go through the quad oval for our qualifying efforts. This track is so bumpy, it's awesome. You're just riding through and then all of a sudden you completely lose grip. But we're fast, so hopefully that translates on the qualifying lap. We're able to get through it. So far, so good. We're going to put down a better lap than we did in practice, I think. Actually, this one felt extremely good. Ta-da! Told you. 10th place qualifying. Very nice for a car that's a 95, 90, 95. Oh, I accidentally skipped the... Well, we actually have a new driver, and you're going to see him on track today, driving the number 71 Reese Chevrolet. And that driver is Timothy Matthias. Not sure where he qualified, but I expect to see him at some point on the track. He is going to obviously be a little bit slower than the current drivers that have been here for a season. So I'll expect him to run probably closer to the back, but you can never tell what happens during these races. We've got 82 laps here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and Tommy Joe Martins is angry at us still. Austin Hill having a great weekend. And John Perez, 2 wins this season, but he failed technical inspection. He goes to the back. We're running an all red and white scheme. No black on this one this week.
Starter has the green flag in his hand. Be ready. Green's out now. Let's go.
And it's go time here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And obviously our goal, get that first win of the season. So we're going to jump to the inside of Sheldon Creed going into turn number 1. Foot down on the pedal. Well, we lifted a little bit. We're up into the draft with Gary Norton. And that draft is going to take us into turn number 3 and 4 at a very nice speed, as we're going to get around Max Cost, which is a big deal. Lane Tibergen, who won the last race at Phoenix, is here.
Got one outside.
Max Cost is also here, which is a little concerning for me. Touching that apron, getting tapped by Max.
All right, clear outside.
Thankfully, we're able to drive out of it. I'm going to go on the outside a little here. See if I can... Well, I can't. These guys are side by side. Let's see if we can work with Lane to get him up front and then get around him. Running here in 3rd place, Gary Norton, Max Cost directly behind us. 17 laps left in stage number 1. And we just messed up our entrance to turn 1 hugely, and that's going to be costly if we can't get some speed. We're going to drop 2 positions. Gary Norton, Matt Malone get on our inside. We got Max Cost trying to get there. I'm too concerned about him. I'm driving my rear view. That's going to send me up into Malone. We get smashed into by Cost, and that's my big concern. I got to just look forward and work on the traffic in front of me, and that's going to get us in the best spot possible. So we're going to jump to the inside of Austin Hill and start to work on Gary Norton. Lane Tibergen doing a good job running out front again, but don't expect that to last, because I plan on passing him and never looking back. So we get into his draft. Fender, door,
Stay out the bottom.
Fender,
Best lap ever. Still there?
and we're going to clear him there. We're looking for a dominant performance today, folks. We need this. I mean, we did all right last week. We ended up getting our incentive bonus, but it was a struggle all race long. And if we came out here and dominated it here at Atlanta, where we've always done well, put us in the playoffs, get us into a spot where we can focus on improving our team overall, that would be just excellent. 6 laps into the race. No worry about pitting during our stages. We'll pit at the end of the stage 1 and end of stage 2. Temperatures look good. Tire wear is tire wearing. We have to pay attention to that. We're a quarter of the way through. And that should be okay. We should be okay by the end of the stage. If we were running no stages and it was a fuel run, maybe we would have to worry about it, but we don't now. And we are doing well, I was just about to say we're doing a great job, but then I had to come off it to avoid the wall, and that's going to cost us. It's Austin Hill, Matt Malone, and Bryce Egan all got around Lane Tibergian, so I don't know what's going on there, because he was in second place, and now he's more than 5 seconds back. Maybe some troubles for that team, maybe some troubles for that car. We'll have to keep an eye on that as the race progresses. Also, as my tires wear out, I can't just go full bore around the turns anymore, so we'll have to keep that in mind as Austin Hill has caught up to us. Worst case scenario, we use him in the draft and we figure it out. Best case scenario, he never catches us and we drive away from him by having some good turns and focusing on our marks. That is Lane Tibergian going down pit road right now. So that's your answer to that. Issues with that car, may be out for the race. After winning last week's race, at least the pressure is off of that team, not having to worry about getting another win. They are in the playoffs. We are maintaining just a 3/10 lead, now a 4/10 lead over Mr. Austin Hill. And yeah, it looks like Lane is going to be on pit road, smoking car. So he is out of the race. We're driving away from everybody pretty handedly, except for Austin Hill. He's doing a nice job. There we go. That was a really nice set of turns. That's going to jump us 3/10 in front. 9 to go. That's more than halfway past stage number 1. We're going to go ahead and speed things up. We're just not dealing with traffic or anything right now. So we'll be back on the mic with you at the end of stage number 1.
Caution's out, wave them off.
Caution flies. Everyone's going to pit. I don't love it, but I'm going to pit with everyone because I don't want to be down on tires. We went in first, we come out in first. And as soon as we get past that green line, we're speeding things back up. As I assume we're going to drive away. We should have a better jump in the car than everyone else. Austin Hill on our outside as we're going to cross the line. And as you can see, we're able to drive away a bit. So let's go ahead and speed things up for the last 5 laps of stage number 1. We'll be back on the mic with you, as I just got done saying, at the end of stage 1. I didn't slow things down because I knew for a fact that I could beat him in 3 and 4, and I just set it up for the last couple laps so we could take it at the line, and we did exactly that as we have gone ahead and won stage number 1. Let's pit again and get ready for stage 2. And again, we come out in first place as we should. We went in first place. Our crew is pretty good.
Be ready here.
Shift through the gears, 17 laps remaining in stage number 2. Really, the best thing I can do here is just get my points down and drive away. I believe on fresh stuff, Austin Hill he can catch us and pass us, as you saw at the end of stage number 1. But we can do some good work and drive away from him through 3 and 4. If my quarter entries is good. The problem that I had in stage 1 at the end there, until I did figure that I could get him through 3 and 4, was setting up the turns. I was off on setting up my turns, and that cost me. But now that I am not, because I was paying attention to him and his line, computer can enter the corner on the inside and for some reason not lose any speed. We cannot do that. I mean, look at him. We just ran that whole thing, never touched the brakes at all, and he's still just a tenth behind us. I know he's got our draft and this and that, but it's pretty annoying. I also know that we're going to outrun him long run, and that's going to be kind of the equalizer. But in good news, we are driving away from Cost, Malone, Hemrick, so that's good. Bad news, even with us running this without tapping the brakes at all, Hill was about to pass us on the inside going into 3, so not great there. 14 remaining, just a couple laps here into stage number 2. Stage 3 will involve a pit stop under green flag conditions unless there's a caution, which does happen frequently. And we're starting to get some tire wear now. Not terrible, but we're about 11% in, and with that, we put a little bit of room between us and Austin Hill. And that corner we ran pretty slow, so he's caught right back up, even though we've got everybody else basically a second or a greater behind us.
Inside.
We won't have an opportunity during this stage to catch the lappers likely, and if we do, it's going to be at the very end of the stage. We are, of course, midway through turn or the straightaway, as they're still not through turns 4. So in a couple laps we have done well. It's just a matter of, are we going to have cautions? Because if we have a caution, that's absolutely not going to happen. How consistent our lap times can be. Can we continue to pull away from Austin Hill? Is a big hope. I feel like it should start to happen now. He gave all his gusto to get up there and catch us, and he's done a good job, but we get to that 5/10, and we'll break the draft that he's using on us right now, and we'll be able to drive away. And he's staying low, and we went mid, which means he wasn't in our draft at all during that point, so we might be all right. I would love this whole stage to go green so I can just outrun everybody and, just get ready for the final stage of the race. Looks like we're about halfway, or a half a lap in front of last place right now, so that's good. I shouldn't say last place. Last place is Lane Tiberghien. He is on pit road. Yeah, we're pulling away now, and now that Austin Hill is out of the draft, he's kind of just out there alone, which is a big deal for us. Because that just, I can not push it as hard. My tire temperatures are pretty high on that right rear as we inch closer to 50% tire wear. So now I can let off the gas a little bit going into the turns, let the car settle in properly, and not put as much of a stress on the cars. We've got an 8/10 lead over Austin Hill. And just 8 laps left in stage number 2. How quickly it has gone, because we're going to speed it up again halfway through now. Stage number 2, more than halfway through. We'll be back on the mic with you at the end of stage number 2.
took that stage. Good job.
And we're going to cross the line, sweeping stages 1 and 2 in the race. Stage number 3 a bit longer, with green flag stops in the middle. Went in first, came out in first, as it should be.
All right, man. You're coming to the green. Almost ready. Car high. Careful.
We did put a couple cars a lap down during that fuel run, during that stage. Not many, but we did put a couple of them down. I would like... Ooh, Matt Malone and Bryce Egan both passed Austin Hill, who has a very fast car, so that's interesting. We got to see how many laps we have left in the race. I know about 20 laps, so if we have under 40, we're happy. Sweet, we do. I was going to say, I'm going to have to split this up for tires, probably. We haven't been kind to our tires at all, so we can't run full stages or full fuel runs, probably, on tires. Hopefully we'll have a decent lead when we pit. Hopefully everyone else has to do the same thing, and if they do have to do the same thing, hopefully they will not get a caution or will not get a caution after we pit. That puts us in a bad spot, because these are the ways that we could end up losing this race, is we go into the pit because we have no tires outside of the fuel well, in the fuel window, but outside of the fuel run, and all of a sudden a caution comes out, nobody else pit, and we're a lap down. Although if everybody else does pit, then we get our lap back on a wave around and we get to drive back up to the front, so we'll probably be all right. We will probably be all right. We'd be forced to not pit, though, if we wanted that lap back, so everybody would be on more fresh stuff than us. Looks like Malone going to be the car to beat in stage number 3 in the final stage of this race, as he has kept up with us, and we've watched Austin Hill, who has dropped himself all the way back to 5th place behind John Perez. He does just make the pass, but they're more like side-by-side racing. And now Hill trying to make a dash at Bryce Egan as they're just a 10th apart. We've got Matt Malone 3/10 behind us, not going anywhere quite yet. Hill has recovered, has passed Egan, and is now going to start to work on Matt Malone. We'll have to keep an eye on that, as he has caught us as I'm driving in my mirror doing the commentary. .35 to go in this one. We'll get to a point where we speed it up in stage number 3, in the middle of it, until we go into our pit. So probably in about 5 or so laps, we'll speed up so that we can stay green the rest of the race, or stay on the mic the rest of the race. Austin Hill has recovered, has gotten around Matt Malone, who has dropped off mightily from us. And now your top 5 order is Savoy, Hill, Malone, Cost, and Egan. We can do this right. We can get some distance between us and Austin Hill, and hopefully have smooth sailing until we do need to pit. .33 to go in the final stage of this race. We have driven away from Austin Hill already, which is pretty good. But I don't know if they are tire saving right now, and that's how they're able to get that to work. I just messed up royally. I was not quite paying attention. And now we have to battle it out with Austin Hill. I'm an idiot. I kept it off the wall, but I messed up. It's fine. We're fine. We're fine. We'll do the same thing again. Pull away from him. Although he's in our draft now, which is not going to help us. We'll see if we can pull away. I'm going to go ahead and push it pretty hard to get some distance. Got 2/10 through 3 and 4 there. We can pull another 2/10 away. He'll be out of our draft and we'll be able to drive away from him. And that's what'll matter. 5/10. Just need one more, so we're going to push it through 3 and 4 to ensure that he's not able to take advantage of our draft. And then we'll be back to driving away, hopefully. We only really got 1/10 there. Yeah, see, we're already halfway burned up on our right rears. This track just eats tires. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and speed it up until we're pitting. And that'll be the last speed up of the race. And we'll be back on the mic for full action when we are pitting for the final time.
Call to caution.
Caution comes out. We're going to pit for the final time, and we should be good to go. I was going to push it as far as I possibly could. When we pit, all these cars that got down a lap from us not pitting, some of them that are 2 laps down, they're going to end up getting their lap back, so it's no big deal for them. We could be really rude, stay out, but it's not going to help us. We still have to pit under green.
You're coming to the green. Be ready here. Hammer down. Hold your line, got one inside.
Gary Norton comes out in front of us. We pass him just past the line. As we head into turn number 1, Austin Hill there. And Lane Tibergen, who had been out, is somehow back on track and in 5th place. So congratulations to that team, who I thought were absolutely out of it.
Still there?
And are somehow back on track. They were laps down, I thought, so I'm very curious as to how that works out, but okay.
Careful, still there.
I do need to focus for a second here more than normal.
There on the inside.
We're going to figure out how we can get around Gary Norton. We got Austin Hill on our inside. We got Lane looking at the inside, too. We're in Norton's draft. This is weird. Lane was out of it.
Still there.
I'm very confused. Let's jump to the inside and start working on these two. This is weird. I don't know how Lane's back on track, and I don't know how he drove himself multiple laps down back up into 2nd place. I'll have to check out the replay after the race personally and figure it out. We don't have to push it right now. We'll get around him.
Careful.
We do have the fastest car on the track. Ooh, we almost got into the 29s with that lap with the draft, though. That's pretty awesome.
Clear high, clear high.
Going in shallow is always difficult. The computer seems to be able to do it and hang on to it, and then when we try to do it, we lose speed big time. And they drive away, but I'm going to... I was going to say I'm going to put my foot down and not let up, but I did because there's just no reason. We'll use the draft, we'll work our way around, and we'll hopefully drive away in the next handful of laps. Actually, we'll get to his fender right now. Coming off of 2. Nope, he's got the better. Use the draft. We're going to stay a little bit higher. I messed that up too, but it might work out on exit. Well, we didn't lose anything on exit, I should say, so that's good. We'll get there, don't worry. Right now, I'm kind of just working with Hill. Now yeah, there we go. Now we got to run.
Careful, still there. You got room.
I know we can do this at about 180-ish until we run out of tires. Then it's down to 175, 172. But early on, like we are right now, just burning through our tires, we don't have to worry about it. Lane's going to jump on the inside, too, as us and Hill stayed up in the middle. And from repairs on pit road, the second place. Big shocker for that team. Out of nowhere, just making a name for themselves here in season number 2. Technically season number 3, but season number 2 with us having our own team. And we've got a caution and no reason to pit. That's going to put us under 10 laps to go in this race.
All right, now, be smart out there. Going green. Almost ready now. Car outside.
8 laps
All
left.
right, you're clear there.
Just a quick sprint, and with that caution, we never have to worry about probably even getting close to 20% on our tires, to be honest. Hopefully, we'll just keep our foot in it for a couple laps and be all right, and then be able to back off a little bit. I don't know. The end of these races, it could end up being a lot of cautions. You never know. Sometimes that happens. Right now, we're doing all right, though. Driving away from the group exactly like we need to do to get ourselves into that playoff position. And that's a guarantee for us then. So everything we do going forward is just to set ourselves up for our first championship run. And it's not that we will end up getting our championship this season, but I would really like to do it. That means that we have one more season in this series. Everybody will pretty much be maxed out next year as far as skill goes. And in the new series, or when I get to the Cups, we're in the Cup Series, but when I do the Cup Series customizing, which I have started working on, those drivers are not going to be all perfect. And they're going to be varied. Some of those drivers actually exist in the game. They have profiles, so I can see them and set up their profiles. But I'm actually going to do some research, base things on where they won the most, what type of tracks did they win the most at. That's going to be their higher numbers. Did they struggle at any style of track, short track or road courses? Did they struggle? And they're going to be lower rated there. And then, of course, the Highline thing, especially with this game, it's going to be full across the board. Everyone's going to have 0 on the Highline. Not because I want it to be that way, but I think the reason why the game has it set that way is because if they're not 0 on the Highline, everybody gets into a row, and even if someone's faster than someone else, especially on short tracks, they won't drive around them. They'll just stay behind them, and so that's a disadvantage for them. It is a disadvantage for us that their Highline is so good, because when we don't have a great car, we'll run into 3 and 4, and that's what I was complaining about a lot in the Truck Series because I didn't understand it. We'd run into 3 and 4, and they'd roll the Highline no matter what track it was, and we would lose so much time when we didn't have a fully upgraded car. So I could also do a lot more in the Cup Series with customization. They put a lot more effort into the Cup Series. So I kind of noticed that when I was doing some of the stuff I was going through, and I noticed that, for instance, the Cup Series has actual trophies and the Truck and Xfinity Series has generic stuff, things like that. So in the Cup Series it should be more varied than this is right now. But by the end of this, everybody, like next season, I would assume that everyone should be maxed out, including the AI drivers. The quote-unquote real drivers and then the subscriber drivers should pretty much be maxed out. So we're going to be racing against the top competition across the board.
White flag is in the air.
Wow, I was able to talk out through that whole thing. We've got just this last lap to go. We've got almost a 3-second lead, showing sheer dominance here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, as we expected to do. This is not a questionable track for us. It's one we circle on the calendar, knowing that it's going to be a good run. And it was an excellent run for us here as we end up completing the sweep and coming home with a victory. 102 speed rating. We dominated that race. That's kind of weird. Top 5, Tony Savoy, Lane Tibergen, Austin Hill, Gary Norton, Brennan Poole. Jeremiah Graham finishes 12th, John Perez 13th, David Schildhouse 14th, Matt Malone 15th, Max Koss 17th, Bryce Egan 18th, Taylor Carpenter 23rd, Eliza Bethel 24th, Michael Chavez 27th, Matthias Espinoza 31st, Timothy Mathis in his first race finishes 32nd, Parker Smith 33rd, Bernardo De Oliveira 34th, Bradshaw Stout 35th, and the only DNF of the race, Casey Kane, finished 36th, 72 laps down. There we are! Our exclusive trophy for the victory at Echo Park 250. Fastest lap went to us. We got into the 29s. That's awesome. Most laps led, 70 of the 82 laps were led by us. John Perez on the move, started last, finished 13th. Tough break goes to Ryan Truex, started 7th, finished 29th. First ever NASCAR Xfinity Series win for Tony Savoy at Atlanta. Greg Galding has nice stuff to say to us. Matthias Espinoza has nice stuff to say. Jeffrey Earnhardt has nice stuff to say. Taylor Carpenter, nice stuff to say. Max Koss. Oh, come on. I thought we could get him out of rival status for the first time. Dang it. I don't know. I didn't take him out at all, actually. He ran into me, but okay. I thought he could. Oh, that sucks. Well, as you're well aware, we're going to jump out of the Xfinity car. We're going to jump right into the Cup car. And instead of 82 laps, we're going to run 162 laps in the next episode. We currently still lead in the Cup Series standings, and we're looking to bounce back from a challenging race last week at Phoenix. Again, we're not running setups in this car anymore, so the challenge still stands pretty strong, but we love ourselves Atlanta. We're really fast here, so hopefully we can take our victory from Xfinity, move that momentum over to the Cup Series, and bring home another victory. But folks, that is going to do it for this episode. I'd like to take a moment out to say thank you so very much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. And until next time, and of course, as always, you take care.